way to replace it, to put a head on, even if it's animal. So he admits, even repairs his mistake. After a while, the discussion switches over to spatial organization. Jake leans down and whispers, "Let's step out. We understand that Sigrun, a nimble marketer, will not mind us leaving her with this group." Outside, we walk several blocks to my place. Jake's is much further away. The street is quiet, the weather cool, the sky nearly starless. We reach my address, climb the steps, open the door. Jake says, "Sorry about last night and this morning, Brett." "Why do you always have to do that? Hurt my feelings." "I know, Brett, I'm sorry. I cannot help it. I just clam and clench." He leans his head back. I look up at his neck, shadowy in the streetlights. "Brett," he exhales. He grips my waist. I take his face in my hands. Jake drinks large quantities of alcohol, but never seems to get out of control. He eats a lot too, but remains fit and well-toned. He is an excellent listener and can be a talker, but always interestingly and always about things he knows. Fishing, politics, food, sports. His interests, so different from mine, are appealing. What is not appealing is his habit of going away. I do not mean for work. This is what I mean. Last night he comes over late with peeled shrimp and cold bottle of wine. We eat, drink, and talk on my balcony, then go inside. It is very good. Later I turn toward him and he's gone. No body. This has happened before, in fact happens a lot. At this time I hate Jake, I really do, but he always comes back. This time I cry, punch his pillow, resist the urge to call him up screaming, "You asshole." The next morning I keep to my routine. I do not have a class, just blocks of studying. I go out to get a coffee, stop at the drugstore to buy arch supports for my jogging shoes. Just after paying for them, my friend Gunther, camera dangling from his neck, approaches. "Can I shoot you?" My first concern, stronger than wondering how I look at this time of day, especially after crying all night, is to conceal my new purchase. I do not want my arch supports in the photograph. Holding them is not like holding a perfume container or a flower or pet. And I wear a size 11 shoe, which I am slightly embarrassed by, even though a size 11, when you are 6 feet tall, which I am, is proportionate. Luckily, I bring my oversized tote bag. I never normally bring this bag with me, but today I do, so I have something to shove the arch supports inside. "So," I ask, walking out of the shop, "what should I do, Gunther?" "Just walk. I'm going to ask you some questions. This is for my graduate thesis, which you might remember looks at the difference between making documentaries about people I know as opposed to strangers. You I know, but we're going to pretend I don't. So please don't act as if I know the answers to the questions, even though we both know I do, okay?" We stroll in the park, Gunther asking me questions he knows the answer to, but we pretend he doesn't. He clicks his camera periodically. "Where are you from in America? What do you teach and study? Why do you like this country? Are you homesick? Do you have a lover?" When we finally reach my place, I tell him it's time for my morning run. He says he might follow me and take some pictures there too. He adds that the arch supports have helped his foot pain. I look at him with irritation. "Brett," he says, "I take pictures. My eyes see everything. I didn't photograph the arch supports, but I saw them in your bag. Don't worry, they'll help your feet." We shake hands. I enter my building, thinking that was a good diversion from asshole Jake. I head out for a run, but someone waits for me. It's not Jake, but another much less sympathetic asshole. Who squats at my door, shirtless, in bunchy sweatpants, pouting, gripping a tightly rolled yoga mat, but Bo. Bo has a girlfriend, Frances, and knows about Jake and I, but nevertheless follows me around, wanting to talk to me about himself. "Hey," I say. He does not stand up, but stays squatting and pouting. I know this ploy for gaining attention. "Brett," he says, finally standing up. I don't answer. Then he squats down again and bangs the back of his head against the wall. "Brett, Brett, Brett." I bolt down the stairs and into the park, feeling guilty. I offset that, or try to, by telling myself I did a good job not enabling Bo's passive-aggressive behavior, that responding to him likely would have led to a level and type of engagement destructive to us both. Bo gets into moods. When he is in them, any way you interact is going to be unfit. In these moods, Bo wants you to ask him to talk, to really, really, really ask him to beg. And he's a guy who, once he starts talking, can talk till you go out. He starts off not talking, then you ask him what's wrong, and he still does not talk, and then you ask him again, and he starts to talk, and then he talks and talks and talks and talks until you are completely drained from his talking. You pray for him to stop. When he does not stop, you just have to shut him out. I get home exhausted, elated from my run, and I am relieved to find Bo gone. I shower, settle into study. The bell rings after a while. It's Jake. Jake says he would have been here earlier, but he ran into Bo, sitting cross-legged on a park bench with a hangdog face. Jake asks him what's wrong. Bo tells him his book didn't get reviewed in the week's paper, and he's feeling low about that, and he said he's worried about me. This is Jake spending his time listening to a person complain rather than coming over and pay attention to me after his bad behavior toward me. I suggest we go outside. We walk downstairs, go to a cafe, have coffee. Jake orders a slice of cake. I wait for him to apologize, but instead he talks about how he really wants cake because he has a dental appointment this evening and eating something sweet is the right thing to do before. This is Jake spinning irrelevantly. I start feeling irritation.